So, the Boston Police Patrolmen's Association, which is the police union in Boston, Massachusetts, has said that the defund the police movement has caused a rise in crime in America. And the one thing that I want to say to them is that, no, what's caused a freaking rise in crime in America are your police officers. And let me give you some examples of things that your police department has been guilty of in just the year of 2021. Let me remind you the reason why people want to defund the police. After all, just this year, Dennis White was your police chief in February of 2021. And 2 days later, he was placed on administrative leave because it was found out that in 1999, there were allegations that he beat up his wife and also his teenage daughter. Now, what's very, very interesting about these allegations is that his ex-wife is actually a Boston police officer. So it's actually cop-on-cop violence. And if I was the Boston Police Union, I wouldn't be talking too much because one of your police union heads, who was Patrick Rose, we found out on last year, but also on this year, he's actually a child molester. And somehow he stayed on the force, even though it was kind of known that he had done this. So once again, if I was the Boston Patrolmen's Association, I would shut the hell up. Seriously. Oh, and we also found out that on this year, one of your former union presidents, Boston Patrolmen's Association, turns out to be charged in an overtime scheme. He's one of 15 officers that were charged in that overtime scheme where you got the FBI involved. So you don't need funding when you got your former union chiefs who are taking money from the taxpayers. Just saying, man. Just saying. And the garbage police officers in Boston are so trash to the point where the city had to pay out $1.3 million because Boston police officers arrested a man who was having a damn stroke. Oh, and what do you know? The man turns out to be black. You know, it's very interesting how that always happens to happen. You know, the most peculiar things always happens to black folks. Isn't it? Very, very interesting how that always turns out. So no offense to the Boston Patrolmen's Association, no offense to any Boston police officer, but the reason why people want you to not have a job and want to defund you is because that's the best way to fight crime. Because so many of you are criminals that if we just simply get you off the job, we feel that as tax-paying citizens, that's the best way to fight crime. And I'm sorry, but the evidence speaks loud and clear when you are guilty of this much shit in 1 year. I mean, I didn't make it up. I showed you all the freaking screenshots. You can't argue with facts. And in the words of one of my favorite bootlicking content creators, facts don't care about your feelings, right?